Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Kit. And we will move on to the evaluation contest. So our speaker for the evaluation contest is Donie. And Donie will be speaking on the topic of meditation. His speech is entitled The Power of Meditation. So Donie, with a speech entitled The Power of Meditation. Thank you very much.
Keep the ball rolling and the bright side out. That's what we were taught when I was growing up on a farm in North Kerry, in County Kerry in the 1980s. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, and fellow esteemed guests. The purpose of my speech here today is to encourage you all to try meditating as a means of reducing stress long term. I'd like to sow that seed in your minds that meditation is a very powerful tool to have in the toolbox. I'm going to outline my own experiences of meditation. We're going to do a very short meditation, and then I'm going to speak about the benefits of meditation. But I'd also like to highlight that you don't need any special powers to meditate. You don't need to be a Buddhist up in the Himalayan mountains in prayer pose, meditating for hours on end. That it's accessible to everybody. And you can start off by doing it for 5 minutes a day, and it's free. Fresh air is free. So first, I'd like to share my story of how I started doing meditation. It was back in 2012, and I was suffering from some stress and anxiety at the time due to some changes in my life. And at the time, somebody gave me a CD with a meditation on it and said I should try it. I was very skeptical. You see, I grew up in a farm, as I say, down in County Kerry, and it was far from mindful meditation that we were raised on. We were too busy milking cows, tilling the land, plowing the fields. And whenever we feel a bit down or sorry for ourselves, my father would say, "Come on, lads, keep the ball rolling on the bright side out." And that was the same for a lot of people in them days. So meditation wasn't on my radar. We didn't have any. It was something you read in books and something that the Asian cultures tended to do. But as I say, we were too busy. So, but later on in life, I said I'd give it a go. I'd give it a try. So I started off doing it, and I was consistent. But what I found is after a period of time, after a few months, that the stress and anxiety reduced greatly, and also my well-being, both physically and mentally, increased dramatically. So that in turn then spurred me on to do it as a lifelong practice. So what's involved in it? So what is recommended is that you practice for 5 minutes. Start off by practice 5 minutes a day. And this involves sitting down and taking nice, long, deep breaths down to the belly. And thoughts will come and go as they do. But when you feel yourself getting distracted by thoughts, you go back again and focus on your breath, and you keep repeating that cycle for a period of time. Now we're going to do 2 rounds of a simple deep breathing meditation. So I'd like you all to do that. So we're going to breathe in through the nostrils for 5 seconds and out through the nose for 5 seconds. And we're going to do 2 rounds of that. So on my count, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's it. We're finished. We finished the meditation now. So you can all see that it's a very simple process. So what's going on here, and how do you get the benefits over time? There's 3 components at play here. There's mindfulness, there's deep breathing, and then there's the overall meditation. So with the mindfulness, the biggest cause of stress and anxiety is overthinking, too many thoughts, and too many often negative thinking. And what a lot of people do is they're thinking about too much about things that happened in the past, things that they could have or should have done better. and they're overly worrying about it. But really, at the end of the day, the past is in the past and should be left there. Or else they're thinking about the future, worrying about the future, catastrophizing, thinking worst case scenario. Now, don't get me wrong, it's good to plan for the future, but not to be excessively worried about it. And the ideal place to be, and it's what mindfulness trains you, is to be in the present moment and not to get distracted with your thoughts. So mindfulness itself helps you to reduce your thoughts, and that in turn then helps to reduce stress and anxiety. The second part is the deep breathing. Deep breathing, the benefits of deep breathing is that it improves your lung capacity, and that in turn boosts your immune system. And also deep breathing is the body's relaxer, natural relaxer. So, and it's often used when people get panic attacks, or when they're hyperventilating. So what will be recommended is to take brief breaths. So that's the body's natural relaxer. The third part is the meditation, the overall meditation. And this is where you sit and meditate for a period of time. And that in turn allows the body to rejuvenate, and it also improves your concentration and memory. So I would encourage you all to give it a go. It's only 5 minutes a day. There's numerous short meditations online. And yes, there is practice involved. But all you Toastmasters know that in order to get the benefits of something, you got to put the practice in. You got to do the thing, and you got to be consistent. And as my father used to say, there is that keep the ball rolling and keep the bright side out. So there is times that you need to plow through adversity, but then on the other side, you need to counterbalance that with some relaxation and meditation techniques in order to have less stress and anxiety, better health through breathing properly, and to live in the moment. Thank you, Contest Chair.
Thanks, Donnie. Well, and if we could have 5 minutes on the clock, that's to give the evaluators time to prepare their speeches.
I've brought Helen back into here, and Martin is still in the breakout room. Yeah, I can confirm that Martin is still in the breakout room and left to his own devices.
Okay, I'll brief the timers. So 3 minutes, and we've got 2 minutes green, 2.5 for yellow, and then red at 3. And judges all ready to go? Just make sure we've got judge 2, judge 3. Judge 3, you ready to go? Super. Very good. Okay, so we'll start the evaluation contest, and we'll start that with Helen Brooke. Over to you, Helen Brooke. Thank you very much.
Toastmaster, and of course, Donnie, well done. I know how terrifying it is to do a speech. What I liked about your speech, you talked about doing meditation, how important it is. Even I agree, because we need that important element in our lives. You had a very bold opening. When you said about meditation, I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting. I think having that bold opening makes it so important. You want to get that first line that's going to capture your audience. And you also had a very bold end. We tend to drift off in the end during the middle part. So having a really strong opening and a strong end would make a fantastic speech. Also liked how you used the stage. Obviously, in Zoom, it's very difficult to use the stage. Obviously, we tend to like sit down because it's like that comfort blanket. But actually, you're like, I'm going to push this chair to one side, and you're going to use the stage and make it your own. I think that's a very bold, a very powerful thing to do. I also really enjoyed that interactive element. So getting us to do the deep breathing, for me, just having those few moments, just to do the deep breathing, 5 and out again, having those few moments made me feel really relaxed. In terms of what recommendations I can give you, there were times you did go a little bit quiet. Obviously, you do have a very strong accent, but also there were moments where you did go a little bit quiet. So there were times where I wasn't able to capture some of the words that you were saying. And also the use of arms. I like to use my arms a lot. So if you can try and find something to like fiddle with to stop you, to help you not to use your arms as much. And number 3, there were moments where the ums and ahs did kind of slip out. So if the times you just need to take a pause, or you can always use like a little post-it note on top. So something to like help you jog your memory of what you would like to say. Or if you need to, record yourself. That's a very good thing to do. So when you go back and go, oh, that's where I need to improve. So number 1, if you can, something to help you jog your memory. 2, if you can have like something to fiddle with, if you need to. And number 3, being able to use that the stage bit more, and also to be aware of your volume as well. I get picked out on it. So something you can think about is using the volume and able to use how to like use your vocal variety. So very well done. A really interesting speech. I'm looking forward to hearing more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And if we could have 1 minute on the clock again, please, Juan. Thank you.
I can confirm Martin is back in the room.
Thank you, Juan. So 1 minute is up. And we will now hand over to Martin for the evaluation contest. So Martin Harnor for the evaluation contest. Thank you, Martin.
I was impressed by this speech about the power of meditation. For me, that was a well-crafted speech because Donie started with a strap line, keep the ball rolling, keep the right side out, or something to that effect. And he restated that at the end of his talk, which helped to kind of keep the continuity going. I'm going to mainly deal with, first of all, what I saw, what I heard, and also what I felt. Donie had a good standing posture. I noticed lots of gestures. In some cases, there was a little bit of flapping hands, so that would be one of my first recommendations, is to try and cut down on that. But after that, there was some very good demonstration of how to use your hands effectively when he was talking about the past and the future, and then the present in the middle. So he was able to use his hands well. And the other thing I particularly liked was he gave a good demonstration of this deep breathing so as to make sure that everybody understood what that was all about. And he was able to do that within a very short space of time. So he'd started us off with something which was very effective in terms of getting the information, getting our attention. He'd come up with these different points, and the other thing I liked was he explained the benefits. Now, Donie used the rule of 3 quite a lot. So he was talking about mindfulness, deep breathing, and meditation, and that was illustrated by having in one case having his hands wide and indicating that your body was regenerated. He was convincing, especially in the summary, because he said, "Oh, give it a go, put in the practice," and a lot of things that I think are very relevant to Toastmasters. What I heard, well, Donie had an even voice. I would have liked him to vary the pitch a little bit, and perhaps to put some more pauses in it, although he did pause a little bit as he got into the topic. So overall, I think he explained well, and I loved the bit where he put the strap line in at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. And if we could have 1 more minute on the clock, please, Juan. Thank you.